Hey guys, Starcopper here from the Ministry of Science. With our foray into the gloom, we're going to be facing more dangerous bugs than ever before. As we face this new threat to democracy, I think it's important we do a strategic review of the foes we have faced so far, to inform our new divers the most efficient ways to counter them. Considering the recent fall of Tyranny Park 2 by this particular species, I think an overview of the Charger family is in order. Throughout this video, I will be referencing terms like armor penetration and durability, all of which is explained in another one of my videos that I will put a link to in the top right corner now. Without further ado, let's dive in. The Charger is a large, terminid enemy that has a main health pool of 2400. It is covered in AV4 heavy armor plates that can be broken off to reveal flesh underneath. The exception to this is its lower butt, which is unarmored. It primarily attacks, true to its name, by charging at the Helldiver. You would think that given its size, it is easy to dodge. However, the Charger is deceptively maneuverable, as simply leaping out of the way is often not enough to avoid it. Its actual trample attack isn't enough to kill a full health Helldiver in any armor. However, if it stops on top of your body, it does an additional attack that will kill you in light and leave you reeling in any other armor. When not charging, the Charger can also do this stomp attack that will just straight up kill you, no matter what you're wearing. Obviously, the Charger is a pretty tough cookie, so how do we take it down? The Charger's weak spots include its head, its butt, and its inner flesh that can be accessed by shooting off the armor plates. The head armor can be penetrated by any weapon with 4 armor penetration or higher. This includes weapons like the Rupture and laser cannon on the lower end, and the quasar cannon and recoilless rifle at the upper end. The head has 1200 health and 75% durability, meaning that it is extremely difficult to take down with low yield weapons. For example, the HMG takes 29 rounds to destroy it. That may not sound like a lot for a drum mag of 100 rounds. However, in the heat of battle, focus firing a massive enemy charging at you while dozens of smaller enemies swarm you is a task for any skill level of Helldiver. If you whiff your recoilless shot, the inner flesh is also a viable weak spot to take down the Charger. It acts basically the opposite of the armor plates, being extremely explosive resistant, while only having 30% durable armor. However, it is vulnerable to any penetration value, and the damage done to the flesh does a staggering 200% more damage to the main health pool than normal. This means that, if you shoot out the armor with an EAT, it will only take 3 follow-up shots with a Liberator to take down the Charger. The last major weak point on the Charger is the lower butt. The upper part is covered in the same heavy armor plates as the rest of the body. However, the lower orange part is completely unarmored. It has 950 health, no explosive resistance, and is 80% durable. This means that a wide range of weapons are viable against it. Anti-tank weapons will instantly take it out. Options like the grenade pistol will 2-shot, and even a Liberator will take it out within 1 mag. It should be noted that destroying the butt will not instantly kill the Charger. However, it will put it in a bleed-out state. This takes away its ability to charge, causes it to limp, and it will slowly die over the course of a few seconds, making it essentially a non-threat as long as you keep your distance. Parts you will want to try to avoid hitting are the legs, claws, and underside. While all of these are either unarmored or can be easily stripped of their armor, damage done to these parts only transfer a small amount of damage to the Charger's main health pool. This is, of course, easier said than done, as in the heat of battle, the Charger will buck, its legs will block shots to the side, and the Charger is often maneuverable enough to hide its butt before you can do enough damage to it. Chargers are very susceptible to stun grenades, however, and they are a good way to get one to stay in place long enough to put down. The last way you could take down a Charger is slightly unconventional. Throwing stratagem balls onto certain flat parts of enemies will allow the ball to stick to that enemy. Chargers seem to be more susceptible to this than other enemies. It can be a bit tricky to aim, but throwing the ball on top of the charger will stick it to the charger. The following Hell Pod will track the charger's location and instantly kill it upon landing. This is a semi-consistent way of killing chargers if you like running an expendable AT option with a quick cooldown, or if you're out of ammo but have recharged support stratagems. I've started using this more often on higher difficulties, and I've even been able to pull off double kills with Hell Pods by leading the charger into another enemy, which segues nicely into discussing how to avoid the charge. Avoiding a charger's charge can be tricky. However, once you identify the method, it is 100% consistent. You'll want to run away and perpendicular to the direction the charger is running. This will essentially mean you will run in a circle with the charger on your tail, and after a second or two, the charger will stop tracking you, and you will have dodged it. In open areas, diving out of the way is a bad idea, as normally the charger will just stop and smash you into the ground. However, if you are in a closed area, diving out of the way can cause the charger to ram into a wall behind you instead, stunning it for a second or two. Overall though, running away and to the left or right is a safer way to dodge them every time. As you work your way to difficulty 7, you'll discover two variants of the charger, the Spore Charger and the Behemoth. They have a chance of replacing the standard charger, with this chance rising as you go higher in difficulty. The Behemoth is simply a juiced up version of the regular charger. It has 600 more main health, and generally more health across its armored plates and flesh. Its armor values do not change however, so while some strategies are less viable, most of the stuff you use against the charger will still be effective against the Behemoth. The Commando becomes a 2-shot kill, but otherwise all AT weapons are just as effective at targeting the head, while targeting the inner flesh or butt will require a few more bullets due to increased health or durability. The Spore Charger is where things get interesting. This unhealthy looking specimen emits a blinding cloud in the area around it. This cloud has a deeper green hue compared to the Spore Spewer, and basically makes it impossible to see beyond 5 meters in front of you while you are in the cloud. The Spore Charger has sickly pustules burning from underneath its armor that you could shoot with any weapon. However, these fleshy bits are extremely durable, meaning you aren't actually doing that much damage to the charger. This durability extends to the inner flesh as well, greatly reducing the effectiveness of bullet weapons on the flesh of the charger. Finally, upon death, the Spore Charger will explode. This explosion deals 300 acid damage, instantly killing anyone very close to it. The initial damage quickly falls off as you move away, however, as long as you are in range, there is a lingering acid burn that is applied for 4 seconds. AT weapons are going to be more relied upon when going up against a Spore Charger, as most AT weapons bypass the high durability. The last variant of Charger is an extremely recent addition. As we venture into the gloom, we have begun encountering the Rupture Charger. Information on these new chargers is sparse, but the field testing I've done indicates this. Seeing as the autocannon no longer penetrates the front plate, I would assume that the face of the strain has an AV of 5 on the head, requiring dedicated AT options to take down. The side armors still break off in a similar amount of shots, and the main health pool and butt health seem to be comparable if not the same. It will occasionally burrow into the ground instead of charging at you the regular way. However, this attack is incredibly easy to dodge. You can hit the area it is burrowed with any weapon that does explosive damage to get it to come out from its dig, also transferring some damage onto it. Overall, the Rupture Charger seems to be slightly up-armored and have a different attack pattern, but otherwise seems to be identical to the default Charger. However, if further information is discovered in the future, I will leave notes of it in the description. Now for a few loadout tips. Remember, these are not necessary picks for your loadout if you want to be effective against a charger. Think of this more as a blueprint you could use to build your own loadouts. If you like being your team's anti-heavy support, all anti-tank options are viable against chargers. Just be aware that the commando takes 2 rockets to blow up a behemoth's head, as opposed to 1 for the Spore, Rupture, and Standard Charger. If you like filling the chaff clearer role on your team, you can contribute towards helping your anti-tank specialist as well. If you see a good opportunity to shoot the inner flesh with your stalwart, unload on it. The autocannon can bust open the side armor in 4 to 5 shots on armor piercing mode, while shooting the head will stun lock all chargers, however, not penetrate the Rupture charger. Remember, while anything with heavy penetration or higher will do some form of damage to most chargers, durability and partial penetration mean you will probably require some help. High damage medium or light pen weapons, such as the variable in total mode or the airburst rocket launcher, can be great at taking out the butt of a charger. Just make sure to fire at a distance. Finally, weapons that struggle against durability will have a hard time killing chargers. The railgun, for example, penetrates the charger's head at full damage. However, it will take between 2 shots if 99% charged, and 4 shots if fired as soon as it can, to kill. Keep in mind that unlike the autocannon, this does not stagger the charger, meaning you'll have to contend with a very angry boy barreling towards you as you shoot. This becomes a bigger problem against the Spore charger, whose increased durability hinders weapon damage even more. Hopefully, the knowledge I imparted will lead to success on the battlefield against this armored juggernaut. That is all I have for today, though. Huge shout out to the Helldivers wiki for being the comprehensive guide while I was researching this video. If you have any questions, leave a comment for one of our researchers down below, or check out the Helldivers wiki, link in the description. Now if you excuse me, I need to add more dragon roaches to my kill compilation. See you next time, bye bye!